Divided we fall. Some people may mistakenly believe that the government are here to help us, but that's not their purpose at all. Their only purpose is to maintain their power. They may dress in fancy suits, they may wear modern-looking spectacles, but the tactics they use are thousands of years old. Divide et impera. Divide and conquer. It's a very simple but effective strategy that has been used and is in use by governments across the globe. The powers that be foment discord among the people to prevent a rebellion against the elites. That is, when the people are fighting each other, they don't have the ability to fight the government. In this video, I will discuss 3 ways that the Australian government are keeping us divided and what we can do to counter it. Number 1, the voice. The government are telling Australians that the only way to solve racial inequality in Australia is by us setting up a special Indigenous voice to Parliament where membership is based entirely on one's ethnicity or ancestry or racial background. This will unite us, they tell us with a straight face. It's absurd. We'll unite you by dividing you. Of course, their goal is not to unite us. Their goal is to divide. Divide et impera. The one-page version of the Uluru Statement states, "Proportionally, we are the most incarcerated people on the planet. We are not an innately criminal people. Our children are aliened from their families at unprecedented rates. This cannot be because we have no love for them, and our youth languish in detention in obscene numbers. They should be our hope for the future." The statement admits that there are many issues facing Indigenous Australians, but yet the Australian government have been throwing money at this for decades. And what's the result? Nothing. No noticeable improvement. All this money, all these billions of dollars, to what end? And do we trust that the current government can turn it all around with the voice? I don't buy it. This isn't about unity. This is about dividing us further in order to maintain their grip on power. The good thing is, it's easy for us to counter. We just vote no. I mean, you could vote however you wish. I don't want to be like them and tell you how to vote, but I'll be voting no. Number 2, racial questioning. People claim that there is institutional or systemic racism here in Australia, and I agree, there is, but it's not what they say it is. They claim that there is some kind of deep-seated racism embedded in our institutions. It's hard to see, but very real. I call BS on that. The systemic racism I see is very apparent. It's obvious. And not only that, it's endorsed by the government. The most familiar form to most of you, if you're Australian, would be this question. Do you identify as an Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander? Of course, the government will claim that this is not racist at all. They'll claim they're trying to help people. Again, they're saying the opposite of their true intentions. The only way to solve racial inequality in Australia is by categorising you by your race. It's absurd. I did make a video about this a few weeks ago, saying that we should delete this question, which is found on pretty much every form in Australia, but realistically, I know that won't happen. How will the government divide us if they don't have this question? But there is an easy way to counter it. Just refuse to answer. I've been doing this over the last few weeks. I've had to fill out a few forms, and every time I just refuse to answer this question. It's actually quite liberating. If you're Indigenous or non-Indigenous, it doesn't matter. Don't play into the government's hands. This is one of their methods to keep us divided. Number 3, racial job ads. Again, the government or the universities will claim that these ads aren't racist and that they're just trying to help people. Here's an actual ad from Seek. Field Officer, Enhanced Bushfire Management Program by the New South Wales Department of Planning. Further down they state, this is an Aboriginal identified role where Aboriginal identity, cultural knowledge or connections are a genuine aspect of the role. Positions are specifically noted under the provisions of the New South Wales Anti-Discrimination Act. See how they use the language? Anti-discrimination, not discrimination. Is this what Aboriginal people want? Jobs allotted to them because of their ethnicity? Personally, if I was Indigenous, I would never apply to these jobs. How can one's ethnicity define your skills? Your skills depend on where you've grown up or where you've studied, not your DNA. This is just another way for the government to keep us divided. So how do we counter this? It's a bit harder than the others, but not impossible. There are a couple of options. As an Indigenous person or a non-Indigenous person, apply for one of these Indigenous jobs that you have all the skills for, but never mention your ethnicity. At some point during the interview, they'll ask if you identify as an Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander person, but just refuse to answer. They'll probably state that it's a requirement that you identify as Indigenous, but then just call them out. Tell them they're being discriminatory. Tell them what does it matter how you identify. Okay, it's quite possible you won't get the job, and many of you probably don't have the time or the savings to play games like this when looking for work, but we need to call this out more often. Just because they claim to be helping people does not mean it's right what they're doing. It's keeping us divided along racial lines. Just look at the Uluru Statement. None of this has actually helped Indigenous Australians. So in summary, how the Australian government divide us. 1. They try to further divide us by voting on controversial constitutional amendments, e.g. The Voice, but it's easy to counter, just vote no. 2. They try to keep us divided by questioning your ethnicity, ancestry, racial background on official forms. Again, this is easy to counter, just refuse to answer. And 3. They claim that certain jobs can only be done by people of a certain ethnicity, that somehow your DNA affects the skills you can and can't do. Either A, don't apply for these jobs, or B, never reveal your ethnicity and call them out on their discriminatory BS. In conclusion, the government seek to divide you. Don't let them do it.